Hello everyone, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to Poco's online global launch event. Thank you all for joining us on the stream today. My name is Angus, and I'm the product marketing manager at Poco. I'm very excited and honored to be the speaker today. We're back. It's been a while, and we're very excited to be back. But before we dive into Poco, we want to give everyone a brief reminder. During this difficult time, please stay safe. We're no experts, but we want to remind all of you to exercise when you can, wash your hands, and most importantly, social distance yourself. Let's spread this message as much as possible together. Now let's get started. We have lots to share with you. In 2018, we launched the Poco F1. You guys all know about it. The master of speed. And we sold over 1.64 million units. For a new brand and a first product, that's quite the achievement. It was absolutely loved by our fans. Not just fans though. We received many amazing reviews from many different tech media, calling the F1 the flagship killer. From GSM Arena, the flagship killer title now belongs to another phone, the Poco F1. We're very flattered. The F1 is a performance-driven phone with many great features that the fans loved. Fast performance, great build quality, and a pretty good camera too. Now in 2020, the Poco brand has fully relaunched, and we're following the same legacy when we first started out. Let's take a look at Poco's latest brand video.
While the world is focused on chasing the latest and the flashiest, we pace ourselves so we can dive deep in what really matters. We hold firm to our beliefs and refuse to be swayed. We curate the technology to enable your daily experience with the raw power necessary to be effortless and smooth. We surpass ourselves every day, showing our passion, perseverance, and potential to the world. This is Poco, focusing on innovations that truly matter. Poco.
Now, we disrupted the market in 2018 with the iconic Poco F1. And today, we're announcing the true flagship killer has returned to disrupt the market once again. So without further ado, introducing the Poco F2 Pro. It's powerfully cool. The Poco F2 Pro is also a performance-driven phone. But we follow the footsteps of F1, but we took it to a whole new level. Today, I'm going to talk about three big things: performance, design, and camera. Now, for the Poco fans over the stream, you know which one I'm going to talk about first. Performance. Powerfully cool performance. Straight power, straight speed. You may be wondering why we're calling the F2 Pro powerfully cool then. Before we get into the cool part, let's start with power. Yes, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865, the leading flagship processor right now. What makes it so incredible is Qualcomm's Snapdragon 865's unique architecture of 1 plus 3 plus 4, 8 cores, high speed, mid speed, and efficiency cores. It has the ability to run super smooth and optimize power usage. And for our hardcore fans, this uses the latest ARM A77 architecture. And not every 5G handset uses this structure. To give you a better understanding on how fast it is, we compared it to last year's flagship, the Snapdragon 855. It's 25% faster in overall performance. And the AI performance saw an amazing 100% increase. And the power efficiency improved by 25 to 35%. And since it's the latest flagship processor, it also supports 5G and Wi-Fi 6. Now, to pair with such an amazing processor, we had to also match up in the RAM technology and the flash storage. We have the LPDDR5 RAM technology, which has a maximum transmission bandwidth of 44 gigabytes per second. That's absolutely insane. Switching between apps is super fast, and having multiple apps open at the same time or in the background will not lag your phone at all. And to pair such high performance, let's not forget about write speed. Loading times are greatly improved because of the UFS 3.1, with a transmission write speed of 777 megabytes per second. That's amazing. With the best processor, best RAM, and best storage, the Poco F2 Pro's performance is next level. It's a beast in whatever you do: gaming, multitasking, recording videos, transferring files, you name it, and it can handle it. Now, how do we compare ourselves with other phones in the market? Here are some of the CPU scores going up against the Samsung S20 Plus. We scored an AnTuTu CPU benchmark of 184,817. That's 15% higher than Samsung's latest flagship Exynos 990. And in GPU, we ran a comparison test on the GFX Bench Manhattan 4.0, where we scored 25% higher than the Exynos 990. In fact, we actually maxed out on our score at the 60. So the Poco F2 Pro thrives in both CPU and GPU. We didn't stop there with the comparisons. We also compared ourselves to a recently launched flagship, the OnePlus 8 Pro. It also has a Snapdragon 865, where we scored 3% higher than the OnePlus 8 Pro, and in GPU, both devices were maxed out on the highest score. And that's expected. We're both Snapdragon 865. But what about overall AnTuTu score? A total score of 589,983 for the Poco F2 Pro. Comparing to the OnePlus 8 Pro, we're roughly 15,000 higher. Comparing to the Samsung S20 Plus, there's a fair bit of difference there. Almost 75,000 in difference. Now, we talked about power, and this score actually doesn't tell the whole story of the Poco F2 Pro. Earlier, I mentioned what makes the Poco F2 Pro powerfully cool. We spoke about the power, now it's time to talk about the cool part. It's actually all to support the idea of sustainable performance. And we want to make sure our users experience no stutter at all, especially in performance. We all know sometimes the flagship speed can get the phone pretty hot. It's expected with so much power packed into a tiny device. And let's take a look at where it gets hot. The 5-core hotspots is located at the F2 Pro, at camera, the radio frequency chip, the charging chipset, the processor, and the 5G modem. So how do we solve this? Introducing the latest LiquidCool technology 2.0. When we first launched the Poco F1, we started a trend, putting a cooling system in a smartphone. What a crazy idea, but it was well known for it. And this year, we're going to take it to a whole new level once again. After identifying the hotspots, we had to make sure we can detect where the heat is actually spreading. So we installed 10 heat sensors, covering most of the area where the heat is coming from. Then we solve it with 3 different components. A multi-layer graphite, covering most of the battery and the motherboard. A graphene, covering the CPU and 5G chipset. Then the coolest part, a supersized VC to do most of the cooling work. And let me show you how our VC actually works. This is actually how our VC spreads heat, in more than one direction, whereas a typical VC actually only disperses heat in one direction, making it a lot less efficient. But today, I'm actually going to show you 3 disassembled devices, including the Poco F2 Pro. So let's go take a look at the inside. Now, we have 3 disassembled devices here. In the middle, we have the Poco F2 Pro. On the right, the Samsung S20 Plus. On the left, the OnePlus 8 Pro. As you can see, in the middle, this is the Poco F2 Pro supersized VC. For the S20 Plus, they have it placed near the top. For the OnePlus 8 Pro, they also have it near the top. And if you look at it in size, we're so much bigger. And this makes sustainable performance so much easier for us. With our earlier technology that I mentioned, multiple directional heat dispersion, making it more sustainable and run for much longer. Now, let's go back and take a look at a game framing test. Besides being very big in our VC, we also did a frame rate comparison test with the Samsung S20 Plus and the OnePlus 8 Pro. We used a very graphical demanding game and played for 30 minutes straight. In this test, we tested for average frame rate and janks. Janks is actually the amount of times the frame rate has dropped from the highest possible frame rate, which is 60 in this case. So the Poco F2 Pro averaged a 56.62 frame rate per second. The OnePlus 8 Pro averaged 54. And the Samsung S20 Plus, a bit disappointing, but 33.2 FPS. But what actually matters here are the janks number. And we're the lowest by quite a bit margin. So this comes down to the result of bigger cooling equals better sustained performance. And this is why I say the Poco F2 Pro is powerfully cool. And talking about gaming, we actually have some extra cool features. We have a 180 hertz touch sampling rate. So when you're gaming, it'll help with your accuracy and precise aiming. It's very helpful in shooter games. Paired with it, we also have a very good Z-axis linear motor. The feedback is super satisfying. It's a flagship level haptic, whether you're playing a game or typing a text to your friends. Now, with all of these high performance and extra features, we actually got certified. The Poco F2 Pro, one of the few phones on the market that has 2 Ryland high gaming performance certification. And in order to get this, we had to pass a series of tests: display, battery life, network, overall experience, heat dissipation, and overall performance. Now, for gaming, you know it takes more than just super powerful performance to have a great gaming experience. You also need flagship level connectivity. With the Poco F2 Pro, it supports 5G, Wi-Fi 6, and Super Bluetooth. You will always be connected, and the speeds are incredible. And maybe now another question raises up. With fast performance and fast connections, especially having the latest processor, the Snapdragon 865, paired with 5G, you must think it could drain the battery a lot. Which is why, for the Poco F2 Pro, we put in a massive 4,700 mAh battery. It just seems like the common sense thing to do. A 2-day long-lasting battery. Now you have sustainable performance and sustainable battery life. On a single charge, you could do a lot. Whether you want to game, listening to music, binging on great HD content, or recording some HD videos, you can do a lot of hours of it. And in case you do run out of juice, we have a 30-watt fast charging, and that's a flagship level fast charge. 63 minutes to 100%. You'll be charged up in no time. To give you a better taste on how powerful and smooth the Poco F2 is, we partnered up with Arena of Valor for a gaming test, a temperature and a battery test between the Samsung S20 Plus. Unfortunately, this was filmed before the OnePlus 8 Pro got released, so you got lucky there, OnePlus. We played 3 games to test how hot the phones got. Now let's take a look. Now, sustainable performance matters. No lag, no stutters, smooth cruising all the time. To sum up, the Poco F2 Pro's overall performance is truly powerful, and it's very cool, literally cool. We have the Snapdragon 865, LPDDR5 RAM, and UFS 3.1. For sustainable performance, we added LiquidCool technology 2.0. For flagship connectivity, we have 5G, Wi-Fi 6, and Super Bluetooth. Powering all these amazing performance, we have a 4,700 milliamp battery that also supports 30-watt fast charge. And what does this mean? It means you will be able to experience the latest of anything with ease. And if we look at the comparison chart on performance only, overall against the performance. Yes, a true full screen display. No notch, no holes, fully immersive. For our true full screen display, we have a 6.667-inch true AMOLED, a 92.7% screen to body ratio. That's a lot of screen. And having a true full screen when you're gaming, you won't ever worry about having blocking a feature or a stat in your game. It's going to be always there. And when it comes to brightness, the Poco F2 Pro has a 5 million to 1 high contrast ratio, 800 nits on high brightness mode, and reaches up to 1,200 nits on maximum brightness. That's enough brightness for you to see super clearly even when you're under the summer sun. Besides very high brightness, we make sure you also get the perfect brightness. The 360-degree ambient light sensor, which is a really cool feature. We added 3 light sensors that can detect the light environment around you and adjust brightness faster and more accurately. Now, this may seem like a small thing, but it really matters on a daily use experience. Let's see how it works and compare it to the other 2 phones. And for our screen, we have HDR10 Plus certification. It's always optimizing brightness and contrast, which will give you better detail and range of colors, whether you're gaming or watching HD content. And talking about HD content, actually, we're also Widevine L1 certified. You can watch HD in multiple platforms, such as YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and many others. I know you guys will be binge watching a lot of shows on the F2 Pro. Now, we have a lot of HD, but we also want to make sure our users' eyes are taken care of, which is why the Poco F2 Pro also passed the TÜV Rheinland Global Eye Care certification. We wouldn't want you to lose your 20/20 vision in the year of 2020. And because we're an AMOLED screen, we also have an in-screen fingerprint reader to ensure the security of your phone, a given feature in this day and age, of course. And speaking of unlocking, some of the features you'll be getting. Once you unlock the device, you'll see that the Poco F2 Pro will be running the latest mode. It's easy on the eyes always. And come on, honestly, who doesn't love dark mode? It's always very cool. So Poco Launcher 2.0, you can get it on Google Play, as long as using an Android phone. You can set it as your default launcher. Currently, we have over 10 million downloads, and that's a mind-blowing number for us. We certainly didn't expect it, but we promise we will always optimize it to make it even better. Let's moving on to design. I know you guys have been waiting for so long to see the F2 Pro, and I won't hide it any longer. The Poco F2 Pro in cyber gray. It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It's sleek, it's eye-catching. And for the Poco F2 Pro, there is a symmetrical element and an ergonomical element to the design. We purposely put the camera placement in the middle, so when you're taking a photo or recording a video, your natural hand placement wouldn't block the camera. An elegant curved body design on the backside, enhancing your hand feel even more so. Then a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 front and back, making it sturdy and going through your daily wear and tear. Now here comes the cool part. And this is what I'm talking about. Some forgotten conveniences that flagship phones used to have. The IR blaster, the NFC, and most importantly, the headphone jack. I always thought to myself, I don't need headphone jacks. Then on some days, I'll be looking at my phone, looking to plug in my headphones. And I really appreciate that when it's actually there. And trust me, you'll want it, because we do believe all these features are still in high demand among our users. Now, to show some other colors of the F2 Pro, let's take a look. Here are the 4 other color variants: the neon blue, the phantom white, the electric purple, and the cyber gray that you've already seen, which is also my personal favorite. So now, let's take a look at the product video. Now in my hands, I have the Poco F2 Pro. One in phantom white and the other one in cyber gray. They're both absolutely stunning, and they're super sleek. For the cyber gray, it's a bit glossy but mostly matte. And for the phantom white, it's quite glossy but stands out super well. Now we also have the 2 other colors on the stands over there. The neon blue and the electric purple for a more vibrant color. It's a better choice, and it's super stylish as well. So to sum up design, a lot of our decisions made here were because we want to make sure we could offer an unforgettable look and feel experience. With a true full screen, you can have an immersive experience. We made sure we kept some of the features that are actually slowly fading away in flagship devices. And because these features still matters to our users. Now, we're going to move on to camera. And I'm super excited for this one. The quad camera setup. Quad camera in 2020 has been the norm, and is no different for the Poco F2 Pro. We have a 64 megapixel main camera, a 123-degree ultra-wide angle camera, and a telemacro camera, which is my favorite, and a depth sensor. So let's start with a 64 megapixel main camera. So the Poco F2 Pro uses an industry-leading 64 megapixel Sony IMX686 sensor. This has a huge sensor size and a 1.6 micron 4-in-1 super pixel. With this, the Sony IMX686 produces stunning image quality with precise colors and very rich details. Let's take a look at some samples. You see, this is actually a peak of a snow mountain. But the full image, you can capture it ultra clear with sharp details. And this particular image was actually shot near Sichuan, China. It's a stunning view. Then let's zoom in, and we caught a plane. But only a part of a picture. It was just a small detail in the image. And that's actually how close you can zoom in. And when you zoom in, you can actually retain all those details. And that's pretty amazing, right? Now, we showed you some day shots, and let's show you some night shots. Night Mode 2.0. I know a lot of our fans are quite the night explorer. I've been on the Poco photo forums, and I see you guys taking beautiful night shots. So we had to make sure the Poco F2 Pro can meet their needs. This is a flagship level low light performance for the F2 Pro. Besides the ability to see clearly and at night, we also want to see wider. With a 123-degree sensor, you can capture an incredible amount of color, shadow, and details. Ultra-wide angles are always fun. You can capture more, especially on landscapes. Now, the really exciting part now. We've talked about clear, we talked about day, talked about night, and wide. It's time to get close, like super close. For the Poco F2 Pro's telemacro lens, it's super sharp and close-up. The industry first, because with these lenses, we're actually 2 times more macro. Let me show you what we mean by that. For our friends over the stream, do you have an idea what this is? Because at first, when I saw it, I actually didn't know what it was. It looked like some sort of silk, maybe, a colored brush. I couldn't tell. And then I actually found out it's actually a beautiful betta fish. Isn't that shocking? We're capturing the beauty from like another world. With a telemacro lens, you can see into the telemacro world, see the true colors up close. So close that we went to space. We went to the moon. Actually, no, we didn't. We actually just took a black and white photo of a telemacro shot that was shot on a piece of bread. And with these telemacro shots, you can actually get really, really creative. Let's show you another example. An oyster, not very photogenic on most days. But if you use a telemacro lens, you actually take a closer look and you could see something very, very different. For us, we thought it was the edge of another planet, looking far away at the universe. So today, I'm actually going to show you how it actually works in real life, not just show you some sample photos. Let's go take a look. Now, let's take a look at how the telemacro photo on the F2 Pro works. And then we press the telemacro function. Then we go 2 times more macro. So the marble actually becomes some sort of planet, actually, maybe Planet Poco. And then we can just take a photo, and you have something completely different. So much color and so much details. This is the Poco F2 Pro's telemacro lens. Now let's go back to the main stage. So now we've seen how a telemacro lens works. We can't wait to see your telemacro shots when you use the Poco F2 Pro. Tag us at Shot on Poco, as always, and show us your best work. And moving on to flagship videography. When it comes to flagship video, of course, we talk about 8K. Let's take a look. For other video features the F2 Poco have, such as portrait mode, pro mode, and video stabilization. A lot of different features to meet your needs. And let's talk about the front camera. It's actually a pop-up camera, and it's 20 megapixels. And you could do a lot of fun features as well. For example, the other day at the office, we took a slow motion selfies with our colleague and pranked him. Let's take a look. So with all these features, we want our fans to unleash their creativity. Be different in such a packed digital age. Inspire others. And we want to be a part of that journey with you. So for the Poco F2 Pro's camera, we have the Sony IMX 686, ultra wide angle, night mode 2.0, a telemacro camera. For video, we have 8K, portrait mode, slow motion selfies, pro mode, and video stabilization. It's a lot of fun features that I'm sure you'll love exploring, and I guarantee you enjoy it. Now, to sum up everything we talked about, the Poco F2 Pro is powerfully cool. It's versatile and powerful. With the latest specs in performance and a true full screen and a big battery, you can do anything. And this is why we believe the Poco F2 Pro is a true flagship. And I've been using this device myself for a couple of weeks now. And I can tell you guys confidently, it may be the perfect phone. For example, I'm a gamer myself, and when I go into the zone for hours, this phone can actually keep up. It can handle anything I throw at it. I love it, and I know you will too. And what do we mean by true flagship? If you compare ourselves on paper against the other 2 flagships we talked about today, the Samsung S20 Plus and the OnePlus 8 Pro, we're actually on par with them on most specs, and even better than them at some. So like I said, what makes us different from a flagship phone? It's simple. It's our flagship killer price. I know, you guys have been waiting for this for a while, and I won't tease anymore. Let's reveal it right away. For our first option, 6GB plus 128GB option, we have the price of 499 euros. That's an amazing price. And this is the definition of worth. And for those who actually want more, we have more. For the 8GB and 256GB option, we also have an amazing price, starting at 599 euros. Now we can go back to the chart and see the numbers all over again. If you run through everything we talked about today, the performance, the sustainable performance, the battery, the true full screen, the camera, and the forgotten flagship specs, then you look at the price, we're actually 40 to 50% cheaper than OnePlus 8 Pro and the Samsung S20. That's pretty shocking. So here it is in summary. The Poco F2 Pro, powerfully cool. Starting at 499 euros and 599 euros in 4 very cool colors. So choose yours. And global availability starts today on Gearbest and AliExpress. And we have more channels coming. On Poco.net, Amazon, Lazada, Shopee, JD Central, and even more channels, where we will announce very, very soon. And you might actually also see the Poco F2 Pro in offline stores. So when you do, please make sure to check it out. Now again, the Poco F2 Pro, powerfully cool. We want to thank all of our fans and media and partners for joining us today. This would have not been possible without the support from all of you in the last 2 years. I know summer is coming, so stay cool, stay safe. Thank you very much. Till next time.
While the world is focused on chasing the latest and the flashiest, we pace ourselves so we can dive deep in what really matters. We hold firm to our beliefs and refuse to be swayed. We curate the technology to enable your daily experience with the raw power necessary to be effortless and smooth. We surpass ourselves every day, showing our passion, perseverance, and potential to the world. This is Poco, focusing on innovations that truly matter. Poco.
Bye.